This is SSPTV News, brought to you by Samsung Productions and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton was reaccredited as a Level 4 trauma center. Find out what that means for patients next. Hi everyone, I'm Ken Kara. I hope you're having a great day and I thank you for spending part of it with us. Let's get to your local information. Healthcare workers continue to work hard to fight the COVID-19 pandemic while still striving to keep all of us safe if we have to go to the hospital for another issue. Here's Lisa Sugart with today's news feature.
This fall, Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton was reaccredited as a Level 4 trauma center. That was done by the Pennsylvania Trauma Systems Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization. Today, I am pleased to be joined by Dr. Kira Weaver. She is the Trauma Program Medical Director, and also Dennis Gantz, and Dennis is Director of Pre-Hospital EMS. Thank you both for being here with me today. Dr. Weaver, I'm going to start with you. What does this Level 4 reaccreditation mean, especially for us, the people of the greater Hazleton area?
So the reaccreditation actually is a great thing for our community. Being part of this program, although it is very rigorous, allows us to have patients with traumatic injuries be brought to our hospital and stabilized. We do offer ortho services here, and some patients are able to be admitted. However, also allows us to take higher acuity trauma patients and stabilize them instead of having to go to a farther level facility first. So it enables us to bring in some additional resources, be part of a program and their standards, and provide better patient care to our community.
Now, when we talk about trauma, what exactly is trauma? Because many things come to my mind, but I'm not sure if I'm correct in what I'm thinking.
So trauma is a very broad category for basically conditions caused by injury. So it can be anything from a twisted ankle or a broken ankle. It can be anything from a head bleed. It could be anything involving like chest trauma, like a collapsed lung. So it's very broad. It's complicated. It's actually some of the hardest, most difficult patients that we care for in the emergency department, because a lot of the patients have underlying medical conditions. Sometimes we have to have special considerations with anticoagulation, pediatrics, geriatrics, pregnant patients. So all those things come into play with trauma, which makes it a little bit more difficult than other medical conditions to care for. It's, very interesting. From a provider standpoint, but it is a challenge and it's a great thing to be able to care for in Hazleton.
Very good. Now, Dennis, you're on the EMS side of this. So how does this designation as Level 4 trauma help your job?
It's a tremendous help and a benefit to us and the community. As Dr. Weaver said, it allows our community to know that they can come to Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton and be cared for and treated and or stabilized before we would have to move them. On the EMS side, what it allows us and our partners in the community, on the EMS, family and so forth, to stay as available as we possibly can. So instead of having to drive a half hour, 45 minutes to an accredited trauma center, we have one right here in Hazleton. We can take those patients immediately to a very close hospital with short response times to the hospital. We give our report as we're coming in, and the trauma team is waiting for us as we come through the emergency department doors right into the trauma bay, which is right inside there. We're able to give our report, transfer care over, and then an ambulance is then back available to respond to another emergency need. So it really is a benefit for the community to have EMS services available very quickly and not having them out of the area depleting services when we know how difficult times are right now for EMS providers.
Now, Dr. Weaver, do you see a high percentage of cases of trauma in Lehigh Valley Hazleton?
So we do see a substantial amount of trauma. I don't have a percentage offhand, but for example, for our higher acuity trauma patients that are alerts in our system, we see about 100 patients a month that meet our criteria that we have set for trauma.
And who is the person that actually determines that it is a trauma? Is that something done out in the field, like when EMS is bringing them in, or is that something when they get to the hospital that's determined?
So it's a team effort. So when patients meet our trauma alert criteria, it can be called by our pre-hospital colleagues. It can also be called by our nursing staff if they recognize that the patient meets our criteria to be a trauma alert, or by any of our providers, physicians, nurse practitioners, PAs.
Well, this is great. I know you've had that designation before, but this now keeps it going for the area. So it means quicker care, I would think, is the bottom line for people watching this today.
You're correct. Trauma is time sensitive, kind of along the lines of like stroke and MI, that minutes do matter. So that's why it's very important to be able to be a part of this program and be able to stabilize those patients that need that care most critically and quickly.
Well, thank you to both of you for explaining this to us and letting us have a better understanding of what it means. And we hope that you continue to do the good work that you do in our area. Thank you both for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hazleton Area High School wrestler Bryce Molinaro is now a 3-time conference champion. This is the SSPTV Standard Speaker Scoreboard. Molinaro won this year's Wyoming Valley Conference title at 189 pounds to move to 16-2 this season. Simon Zamudio also won gold for the Cougars at 113 pounds. Devin Youngcourt took silver at 145 pounds. Ido Rodriguez, Jorvin Rodriguez, Lucas Bodner, Stanley Jimson, Jonas Aponic, Jared Wolk, Peter Youngcourt, and Joel Mello also medaled for Hazleton. The Cougars finished second as a team at the conference championships. Katie McCormick was a big part of North Schuylkill's Schuylkill League cross country title and third place finish at the AA level in District 11 this past season. She also qualified for states this year. McCormick was also a part of the Lady Spartans AA State Track and Field Championship team last season. Last week, she announced she'll continue her athletic and academic careers at the NCAA Division II level at Indiana University of Pennsylvania. We did a feature story in the fall with McCormick and some of her cross-country teammates, and you can find that story at ssptv.com and on our YouTube channel.
Time now for weather on SSPTV News.
Bundle up, it's going to be a chilly week. Here's our forecast from the National Weather Service. On Tuesday, mostly sunny with a high near 13 degrees. Wind chill values as low as negative 14 degrees. On Tuesday night, mostly clear with a low of 7 degrees. Wind chill values as low as 0. Winds could gust as high as 23 miles per hour. On Wednesday, partly sunny with a high near 31 degrees. Wind gusts as high as 23 miles per hour. Wednesday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 23 degrees. Thursday, mostly cloudy with a high near 34 degrees. Thursday night, partly cloudy with a low around 18 degrees. Friday, mostly sunny with a high near 27 degrees, and Friday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 14 degrees. Coming up, some winter travel tips from PennDOT and a feature story on a rapper from Schuylkill County who's made a name for himself by writing songs about his sports heroes.
The Freeland Neighborhood Crime Watch will meet on January 12th at 6:30 p.m. at St. Michael's Hall. The guest speaker for the event will be Lauren Fitch, who is a postal inspector in Scranton. Everyone is welcome to attend the event. SSPTV News would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Eugene Jean Kokinda, age 89, of Hazleton. Mass will be held on Saturday at 10 a.m. at Saints Peter and Paul Byzantine Catholic Church in Beaver Meadows. Friends may call on Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Franchi Bonham Funeral Home. Alexander R. Martin, age 30, of Calairs. Mass will be held on Wednesday at 11 a.m. at Good Shepherd Church. Friends may call on Wednesday from 9:30 to 11 a.m. at the church. The Damiano Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. And Edith K. Subox, age 87, of Hazleton. A funeral service will be on Thursday at 10:30 a.m. at the Joseph Moran Funeral Home. Friends may call Thursday from 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. at the funeral home.
Tonight's obituaries are being brought to you in part by Harmon Funeral Homes and Crematory, with 2 locations in Rockland and in Drums, 570-384-3312 or 570-788-0977, and go to harmonfuneral.com.